Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Navs Effect podcast. I'm your host, Naveen Ganglani. We're back with the game recap videos. Shortly from now, we'll be discussing a heartbreaking loss for Gilas Pilipinas in Auckland. They get double overtime against New Zealand in the FIBA Asian Qualifiers. Unfortunately, they come up short down the stretch. 106 to 102. New Zealand only wins by 4. They had been beaten Gilas pretty soundly as of late. What happened to Justin Brownlee? What was with the struggles? And are we about to enter the next stage of Gilas Pilipinas basketball where the young guys, the young guns, are ready to take the mantle? All of that and more. Joining us will be Aaron Black of the Meralco Bolts to provide us with some solid basketball perspective. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, we're now back on the podcast, and Aaron Black is here with us. Aaron, of course, a professional basketball player with the Meralco Bulls, also played for the Ateneo Blue Eagles in college. So, Aaron, originally we scheduled to start this episode at 5:45 p.m., but we were an hour delayed, and you know what? It was for free basketball. The game goes to double overtime. You and I got to watch it from start to finish. Man, what were your main takeaways immediately after the game on that contest? Okay, I think Aaron, you're muted, so let's fix that.
Oh, there you go. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. So, my bad. What's up, Naveen? Yeah, it was a great game. I think New Zealand they controlled most of the first half and the part of the third quarter, and Gilas really made a good comeback, led by the younger guys, like you said, Carl Tamayo, JGDL, and KQ. Of course, Dwight was consistent as well, as he always is. But yeah, it was a tough game. It was a tough way to lose. We both weren't complaining when we were extending the time because it did go to double overtime. But we fought a lot better than the past games against New Zealand, and it seems like some of the guys, the younger guys, are ready to step up.
For sure, for sure. And free basketball is free basketball, like we always say, right? The young guys were just superb. You came up a little bit with Juan in the mid 2010s there in the amateur basketball circuit. You guys see each other in the pro level now. And of course, we know what KQ and Carl are capable of, just these big wings who can shoot from the outside, attack closeout, rebound on the other end. Justin Brownlee, a very questionable performance. And shortly from now, questionable in terms of where did he go, what happened to him. Shortly from now, Nicole, our producer behind the scenes, will be putting up some stats on this video screen if you guys are watching this podcast on video, so you can be updated with the data too. Aaron, when did you kind of have an idea watching this game that this was going to be close all throughout? Because I got that energy, I would say probably mid second quarter. Usually that's about the point in these games lately where Gilas falls behind and then New Zealand pulls away, or the start of the third quarter, somewhere around there, middle of the game. But every time New Zealand threatened to pull away, because remember, they also built a lead early in the third quarter. And then Gilas came back and made it a possession by possession battle down the stretch. There was even a timeout early there in the third quarter where Coach Tim challenged his guys, basically saying, "You're getting pushed around. They're playing more physical and stronger than you." Challenged them to level up to the physicality of New Zealand, and they did. And then at the end of the game, it became an execution contest. And weirdly enough, our most veteran trusted player, our naturalized player, Justin Brownlee, ends up having the more forgettable moments.
Yeah, well, I think what Coach Tim meant in that timeout was really the offensive boards. We were getting killed on offensive boards all night. I think they had 19 second chance points, which is too much in a game like that. At the same time, I think New Zealand did a good job against JB. They did a good job against him last game as well. But a lot of guys, like I said, stepped up today. And, as much as, people are going to harp on the fact that Justin Brownlee didn't play well today and he only had 5 points and things like that, in my head, I think a lot of these young guys, they got the experience today. They got to lead the team, and now you add, if JB can get his rhythm going for this next game against Australia, because JB didn't play in any of their exhibition games. He played in Game 7, so it's been about I think 15 or 16 days since he's played a game. So I'm looking forward to JB really stepping up in the next game and bouncing back. We've seen him do it multiple times, and I'm sure the criticisms from people all over the country will fuel that for him.
Australia did a lot of things that really bothered JB and made it hard for him to even catch the ball to begin with. So there was ball denial, ball fronting, someone in the nail or filling in the gaps ready to help at any given moment. Davidson's athleticism, I thought, also troubled JB a little bit. What else did you see from New Zealand that made you think, man, they're really focusing on Justin right now? They want anybody else but Justin to beat us. And you know what? It almost happened.
Well, from the even from the game where we played here on our home court, I think New Zealand's plan is to let anybody else beat them, but Justin Brownlee. I think they've seen the games where he's carried not just his club team, but the national team as well. In every stage, he's carried them to wins, and that was my feeling definitely for today's game. They tried to double him every chance they got. They sent him to the help every chance they got, and they made sure to deny him the ball, make it hard for him to get anything really. I think at one point in the third quarter, you only had one attempt. So that's how you know that their game plan was really around or centered on JB.
It felt like the moments where the ball movement was good for us, we ended up getting a good shot, whether we make the shot or not. And that's what spacing the floor, having KQ and Carl in the corners, having Dwight out there, having one out there. Obviously, he's a triple threat kind of guy. And that allows more room technically for AJ Edu to roam inside for offensive rebounds or Justin to get the ball maybe in the high post. But like we said, he didn't really have it going today, in part because of New Zealand's defense. The main takeaway, let's get right to it. Seeing the way these young guys played, we mentioned their names again: Juan, KQ, Carl. Add Dwight to the list. RJ Abarrientos didn't shoot well, but he did have 10 dimes in this contest. Would you say it's probably the right time now to mention that we're progressing, or rather going to a new era where we're trusting our up and coming stars more?
Actually, I tend to go away from saying they're the young guys because if you look at the team is actually mostly composed of guys that age, 26 to 29 years old, pretty much. And then you have, Chris Newsom and Junmar and those guys who are a little bit older than that. But yeah, these guys are ready. I mean, Carl Tamayo and KQ, the reason why they're so successful also internationally is because at 6'6", 6'7", they can handle the ball, they can shoot the ball, they have a post game. So they're able to really stretch the floor. And at the same time, if you need them to get a bucket, they can get a bucket for you. And Juan, on the other hand, has always had the confidence and the work ethic to be a really good player.
What did you think of the rotations and some of the substitutions down the stretch of the game? Because it felt like Coach Tim would take out one here, KQ here, Carl here, maybe try to get them a quick blow, 2 minutes, a minute and a half on the bench, get them ready for the final minutes of OT. We saw him put in Chris Newsom when he hadn't played the entire game. Newsom, of course, is your teammate. What do you think of the strategy of Coach Tim? Did you like that he tried to find ways to get quick breathers for his guys, or would you have preferred he just left them in considering the rhythm that they were playing with?
Well, I'm not really sure what the guys are telling him. I think there was one point where RJ was having a conversation with him on the sideline. So I'm not really sure if he's telling him, I'm a little bit tired, coach, I need a sub, or I wouldn't be one to question Coach Tim. He's had so much success internationally and locally, but at the same time, I think what he was trying to do is really just match up offensively and defensively. I think he saw how Illy was killing us all night long. He tried to put New in double overtime. Of course, New on New's side, that's a little tough coming in after about 2 hours of sitting on the bench. But he's always ready, I'm sure. And it didn't work out today, but something like that may work out in the next game against Australia.
What do you think of the way AJ played today? He didn't really score much, but it felt like he was always available there in that
Yeah.
dunker spot, trying to protect the rim, rebound the basketball. And also another guy who provided energy was Mike Phillips, who made his Gilas debut. And I thought he actually provided some solid energy in his limited playing time.
I think those guys are two of the future of Gilas, big man wise. They hustle, they defend, they can finish around the basket, they're athletic, and they protect the rim. If you add Kai there soon, when at the point where he starts playing again for Gilas, they're going to be tough. Those three, you add of course the other guys there as well, and then the stretch shooting of a guy like Carl Tamayo, you can really go big. I seen a while ago we had JB at the two, and KQ at the three. So at one point, I'm sure in the next few years, we're gonna have a situation where after the point guard, there's gonna be nobody under 6'7".
Imagine a lineup like that, right? No point guard under
Yeah.
6'7". You also have that length. You can help defense more easy, and you cover more space, which
Yes.
allows you to get out and transition easier as well. Let's take a look at some of the statistics right now. Nico, let's put that up on the screen. Gilas actually shot really well from 3 point range, 12 out of 35. They shot
Mm.
better than New Zealand did, which is a welcome surprise because early on it looked like New Zealand would bury them with an avalanche of 3 pointers again, which we've seen in the past. One GDL had 23 on 9 of 15 from the field, 4 of 9 from downtown. Also had 6 boards and 4 assists. Did foul out plus 13, a team
Plus, I was
high
about to
plus
talk about that.
13
Yes.
in 21 minutes. Michael Phillips played 11 minutes and was a plus 11 too. So it's a
Yes.
good question to ask whether he should get more playing time in their next game or the upcoming windows. RJ Abarientos, 6 points, 2 of 10, but he did have 10 assists. Turned the ball over 4 times though. Kevin Kimball, 23 points, 9 of 16 from the field, 6 of 8 from 2, 3 of 8 from 3, plus 7 in 37 minutes. 37 minutes for Kevin Kimball. He got in late in that first quarter, and Coach Tim was like, I am riding with you, and turned out to be the right idea. Tamayo,
Yes.
25 minutes, nearly 26, 17 points, and 7 of 12 shooting. So, was there anyone else who you thought played particularly well for the national team?
Well, of course, like you said, Mike Phillips. It is his debut game. I've Coach Tim is known to play his vets a lot more, and I'm even in the first game. I think Juan didn't play as much as he did in this game. But now, you see his minutes go up. So I think Mike Phillips brought a lot of energy on the floor. Of course, the guys that we mentioned a while ago, the three young guys, along with Dwight, who's always steady, um, are the guys that really played well today. And I'm excited. I'm excited for that next game because the way they, yes, we lost today, but the way we fought compared to when we played them here, the way the game plan was made for our guys, is really exciting. Moving forward for our Gilas program.
Justin Brownlee, by the way, just took 3 shot attempts in this game and no free throws. 2 out of 3 from the field, 0 out of 0 from the free throw line. Did grab 8 rebounds, had 4 assists, but fouled out with 5 fouls. Turned the ball over 3 times, had 5 points plus 6 in these 35 minutes. Dwight Ramos, 18 points, but 6 of 17 from the field. Wow. How about from the New Zealand side? What do you think they did well, or what do you think they were able to capitalize on? Because it felt like they were able to turn the corners on these ball screens a lot. They had a lot of guards who were able to attack the paint. And you know that once you get paint touches and you swing that ball outside for open 3 point shots, it leads to either a made shot or a lot of times offensive boards, which is what you mentioned to start this podcast. New Zealand got a bunch of offensive boards. And later on, too, particularly Webster, when it looked like we were going to win in that first overtime, or rather maybe that was regulation. He had 2 big shots in the paint,
Mm,
including going 1-on-1 against Phillips.
yes.
So what did you like from New Zealand side?
Well, first of all, most, if not all, of the New Zealand players can really shoot the ball, which really makes it easier for their guards to get into the paint. And a guy like Illy, who's only 6 feet, 6 feet, 6'1", was really killing us tonight. He got into the paint pretty much whenever he wanted to. And like I said, when you have guys like Menenga in the pick and roll, you have to respect his role, which leaves space for the guards coming off to either shoot the mid range or get to the bucket or shoot the floater. The way they played physical today, the way they attack the boards is something we really have to look at, I think, and I'm sure they're going to look at it moving forward in the next games. But that physicality was glaring today for that New Zealand team.
Much love to everyone tuning in right now to this episode. Send in your comments. We're seeing them come in. We'll put some on the screen. If you guys have any questions for myself or Aaron, please send them in the comments and we'll answer them. So, great game, like you said, from New Zealand's guards. But I want to talk big picture here because, like we mentioned, New Zealand had been performing rather well against Gilas as of late. Now, we've seen Gilas under Tim Cohn play well before in the Latvia OQT a few years ago. We were all excited after that stretch, right? Where they beat Latvia, they almost beat Brazil there. They were up against them before getting eliminated eventually. And it's kind of been a downward slope since. And I don't think it's a coincidence that downward slope started when Kai Soto no longer got to play
Yes.
for the national team because of
Mm.
injuries and other concerns, if you believe what's being put out there. Now, going back to this current team, would you say this performance against New Zealand is more the new standard we can expect from the Gilas program, or a once in a blue moon kind of blip of good luck?
You mean the good performance today, the way we fought?
The way we played today, do you think that's gonna be the expectation now moving forward, or is it gonna be another yo-yo situation where we're playing good and then suddenly we're not playing so good?
No, I think whenever we talk about Gilas, you're always expecting them to play at their best. You know, we are one of the powerhouses of this side of the world. That's pretty obvious now with all the tournaments we've joined and we've done well at. I think, like you said, Kai is a big part of this team, and whenever he does go back to playing for Gilas, it would be a different story. You know, having a 7-2 guy in there who can also stretch the floor and at the same time is has good hands and can shoot the ball is different. When you have at the four a guy like Mike Phillips. So now how do you get into the paint if you're Illy and those other guys from New Zealand? It really makes it difficult when they're there. So for me, I think future wise, we always expect Gilas to play well, and I'm sure they will. They're well coached. You know, it's a good program. It's just a matter of who they're gonna get in these next coming tournaments.
So you've played against Ginebra quite a few times in your career with Meralco. You've gone up against teams head coached by Tim Cohn. What did you see from what New Zealand did on either side of the floor that you think were smart, given your own experiences preparing for teams playing, for rather your own experiences playing against teams with Coach Tim Cohn?
Well, I think when you play the triangle, you don't know what to expect because there's so many options from the triangle. You know how they may enter the ball on this side or in the corner, in the post, but at the same time, you don't know what happens after that. It's a lot of reading the defense. What New Zealand did today was they pressured the ball from the start to finish to kind of
Yep, full
delay the
court press.
triangle. Yes, and if you come down and you're running the triangle with only 13, 14 seconds left, it's a lot tougher because now you know the shots have to come quickly, and instead of getting two reversals or three reversals, you only get one reversal or one pick and roll, and you go right into that, and that's the only shot that you get. So I think that's something that New Zealand really did. They imposed their physicality for 94 feet, and they tried to deny all passes that they could, which really haunted us in the last part. I think with the turnover by Juan at the end, with Davidson denying Brownlee.
That was a great play by Davidson. I mean, he just read one's eyes, used his athleticism, and found a way to deflect that basketball. How much energy does that take out of you, though? You know, like even if it's 40 minutes compared to 48 in the pros, you're pressing every time, you're trying to ball deny, you're trying to get up on the grill of your opponent that you're trying to defend. What does it say about the conditioning level of New Zealand that they were able to execute that in a double overtime game?
Well, I think they're definitely their conditioning is excellent for you to be able to do that. And a lot of their players played a lot of minutes. It's not like, you know, they were rotating everybody. Um, but they have a lot of wings and a lot of big men that are very versatile. So that's a problem. If you don't have those bigs or those wings that are versatile, you can't press the ball because one guy will come out of the backcourt, he'll get the ball and he'll bring it down, the four man, the five man. And we have guys that can do that, like Carl and KQ, they can bring the ball down. But what they can do with guys like Menenga, you know, who can really move their feet, they can really bring that pressure up and not worry about getting beat because you have those rim protectors as well. So definitely their conditioning is excellent, and I think for us we really have to expect that moving forward against them that they're going to continue to pressure us 94 feet for 40 minutes.
I mean, Australia was running pin downs for open three pointers for their five guys. I mean, that's crazy. That speaks of versatile and how much this team can shoot. Quick question for you right now. If you had to anticipate the best closing five lineup for this national team as they're currently constructed, who do you think are the five that deserves to be on the court?
Well, right now, the way they're playing, you know, Juan is definitely going to be there.
The
I think
one,
actually
yeah.
today, not giving my five yet, but today Juan and in the end, Juan and RJ actually was a pretty good combo. I know it's not the biggest guard lineup that you can get, but it was a pretty good combo. But going back to my five, of course you're gonna have to have Dwight there. The way KQ is playing, he has to be there as well. Um, and for the bigs, it's really a toss-up. I like the way Mike Phillips played today. AJ Edu has to be there at the five. So at the four, it's between Carl and Mike Phillips.
It's just exciting. I know that a heartbreaking loss in double overtime fashion like that is still not fun. And there's only enough room for moral losses, right? Before you start asking when are the actual wins going to come. But this just felt more, what's the right word, more encouraging than the last few games. And I think it's because we've been waiting for these young guys to step up. I think it's a little overblown when people were complaining the last few tournaments that Coach Tim doesn't give the young guys opportunities, because he does give playing time
Yes.
to some of the young guys in the team. Now he might pull them out quickly if they make a few consecutive mistakes, but a lot of coaches would do that. But now they look like veteran players instead of like young guys on the coming up. Did you see that as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was for me, what helped was that they were able to go to Australia and have a camp over there. They're able to really immerse themselves in the team and be able to get to know all their teammates and understand the culture and the system and things like that. That helps, especially when you're overseas, you're stuck with your teammates, you're stuck with the people in that organization. And I think that probably made them more comfortable in this Gilas team. And for me, the more comfortable they get, the better they will be, because you can see today, yeah, we made some mistakes in the end, but those mistakes they'll look at in film and they're gonna learn from, and moving forward, they're not gonna make those same mistakes again.
If you're a player in that Gilas locker room, what are you feeling more right now? Is it, God damn, we let one slip away? Or is it more along the lines of, we just went up against the 24th ranked team in the world, went against them blow for blow for two overtime periods, and we nearly carved out the win. Probably should have won. Where are you leaning more towards if you were in that locker room like right now?
Well, for me, I'd say we let one slip away. I think those guys, or if I was in that situation, I know how those guys think. They think they're just as good or they're better than that New Zealand team. I think if you don't think that way, then you've already lost the game to start. So I know they're in there. They're disappointed with the fact that they let one slip away. I think we were up by 6 points. If it wasn't in the first, then it might have been the second. One of the overtimes, we were up by 6 points, and we could have capitalized on that. Um, but yeah, they'll learn from it. Like I said, they're gonna watch film and they're gonna figure out the mistakes that they made, and not make them again, or at least improve on them in the next games.
We have a question here from Fran Lu asking, should the PBA adopt 100% FIBA rules? Now, recently in the Gilas press conference, Commissioner Willie Marshall announced that there might be some FIBA inclined changes, such as possession arrows instead of jump balls all the time. But the quarters remain 12 minutes. You're still going to have six fouls. Maybe some of the physicality and the officiating will be changed. One thing I noticed, I'm not sure if you would agree with this, but I noticed this earlier, is Gilas was being called for a lot of blocking fouls. And a lot of these blocking fouls were hip checks almost, where they were guarding with their hips rather than their feet first. And I just feel like sometimes that might be PBA related, because referees in the Philippines let that go a lot of times, whether that's college or the pro level. And when you get to FIBA, suddenly it's policed more strictly. So what do you think about that?
We were told in practice a couple of days ago that they will start officiating like it's FIBA. So, just more physical, and like you said, the hip checks and things like that won't be allowed. You can't put your hands on people, you can't be grabbing and things like that. At the same time, I actually personally I like the 12-minute quarters. It's I think if we can get the FIBA rules and we can get everything and keep the 12-minute quarters, I think that should be fine. It might even help our conditioning if you think about it, because 12-minute quarters you go for 48 minutes, so you have to be in even better condition if you think about it. At the same time, like you said, that 8-minute span, the difference may hurt us in a sense that when you're playing 48 minutes, sometimes you tend to conserve yourself compared to when you're playing 40. You really go like we saw New Zealand today play 94 feet for 40 minutes and really pressure up. So I don't know. For me, I like the 12 minutes personally, but at the same time, I also like the fact that they're starting to bring in some FIBA rules so that the guys that do play for Gilas have an easier time adjusting when they move on when they move to the Gilas team.
We now have a commenter here saying RJ cannot be in a crunch time lineup, or he's not the crunch time player. I disagree. I think we just saw him play really well in the PBA Commissioners Cup. Now, granted, the PBA is different from the Asian qualifiers, but what did you think of the way RJ played? I think he took one really bad shot, the turnaround in the corner, but the shot clock was kind of winding down there. But overall, what did you think of the way he played? Because it felt like he was looking for the extra pass and looking for the open man for most of the contest. And
The guy
and
had
and he wasn't picked on defensively.
the guy had 10 assists today. I think that just that alone, I mean, getting your guys involved. People don't realize RJ's only about 5'9", 5'10". The guys that are guarding him are 6'1" or above, pretty much on the other team. So the fact that he's able to set up his teammates and he's able to get 10 assists and set the table for the team, the guy's still young. I mean, he's gonna learn and he's gonna, like I said, they're gonna watch film and he's gonna be better as we go forward. But you can't say that he's not good at crunch time. We just watched him in the PBA, and you can say all you want that the PBA is not the same or whatnot. But if you're a clutch guy, you're a clutch guy no matter where it is, whether it's in one league or another.
Some of the comments are insane. I got someone here saying it looked like Coach Tim Cohn didn't even want to win the game. Let's not go a little overboard, guys.
I'm not even gonna comment on that. We can just
I mean, he has like 26 rings, right? 25 or 26. I think it's 26. I mean,
But
it's
that's basketball,
something.
though. I mean, that's basketball. I
Yeah.
think that's something all of us, players, coaches, management, we all sign up for that. When you win, everything's good. When you lose, everything is horrible. I think that's something
Yep.
that we've accepted. And as fans, they do have the freedom to say or feel how they want about any player, any coach. So
What did you think of the in-game management, though? Do you think the coaching staff made the right decisions on who to put in, who to pull out, and what defensive and what offensive principles to use? I saw a lot of switching from Gilas, except when Junior was on the floor, or some sequences where AJ was there and they were playing more of a drop. But we saw that drop coverage get murdered by New Zealand the last few games we played. This defense felt a little more at the level or closer to the defender, not really giving them a lot of space to operate.
I thought our defense is really good. I like the way we played. I think our defense was the reason why we got back in the game. In that third quarter.
True.
Yeah, we made some shots. We shot better than them from three, but if we didn't get those stops to be able to run and get those open shots, I don't think we would have gotten back in the game. So I liked our defense today. Coach, like you said, did change it up a little bit, going from drop coverage to switching and then changing it up from there, and I think it really helped us today.
All right. On Monday, July 6th, Gilas takes on Australia, a top 10 ranked team in the world, a squad that, as good as New Zealand is, Australia is going to be even probably more than slightly
Hmm.
better. And we haven't really had a lot of luck against Australia. In fact, I don't think we've beaten Australia since the 1970s. So, what are you going to be looking forward to that matchup? What do you want to see out of Gilas to give the Philippines a good shot to win that game against the Aussies?
I want to see that same fight today. I want to see them be fueled by the fact that, like I said, I'm sure they think they let one slip away, and they go into Australia against a tough team, a tougher, maybe even a tougher team. But I look for them to fight and really execute better, expect the physicality and meet it head on from the jump, and really look to win that game for us.
Awesome. Now, Aaron, before I let you go and thank you for joining us to share your thoughts about this game, someone wants to know, since CJ Cancino posted it on his Instagram story, how's the Meralco Bolts' recruitment of LeBron James going?
Oh, it's going great. We were on the phone with him this morning. We talked to him in a Zoom call, and hopefully he takes our offer. Morocco set the contract and everything, and we'll see.
So, what are LeBron's demands? What did he tell Meralco that he
He
wants
wants to
out of
live
this
in
potential?
Morocco. He wants to live in the
Really?
building. I mean, yeah, he'll take half the building, and they'll retrofit it for him. they'll fix it up, and that's his number one demand.
I mean, the most important part of this recruitment, though, does LeBron know it already that he has to listen to you on the court? You tell him where to go, where to position himself, and he just follows what
Yeah,
you have to say.
we had a conversation after the Zoom. I called him, made sure to let him know that he better know our sets and everything. And man, I'm so mad at the Lakers. I'm like the biggest Laker fan. I cannot believe they let LeBron go. Oh my gosh. I was really hurt the other day.
So, do you want to hear the new nickname of the Lakers?
Oh, I can only imagine.
Forget Showtime Lakers. It's Snowtime Lakers.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. You know, the Kessler one was a good pickup, but I can't believe they basically sent 4 picks for him. They sent two
I know,
picks
right?
and 2 pick
And paid him
swaps.
30 million plus.
The 30 million, I was actually looking at it with Windhorse and they were talking about it. And it actually is okay. But it's just the pick swaps and the picks. Now we have no picks till 2033.
Yeah, this is your
So
team, man. This is your
this
team. It's
this
crazy.
this is really my team. I it's sad. It's sad right now. But I'm hoping
But
Luca goes off and we'll figure it out. But and get Jokic next year, hopefully. We'll see.
add to the Snowtime Lakers.
Yeah,
um,
might as well.
but we did hear LeBron is going to Meralco. So Aaron Black, thank you for joining us. Much appreciated. It's always good to talk to you,
Definitely.
man. Great basketball insight, and I'm sure that we'll have you back on this podcast not long from now.
Thanks. Thanks for having me. It was great to be here. Great to talk to you, man.
Take care, bro. Take it easy.
All right, brother.